Hello, we are reviewing for your Unit 1 test, which is going to cover modules 1 and 2. So this is going to be the review for your Unit 1 test. And then what we're doing just on this part of the video is we are reviewing your Mod 2 lessons. All right, so we were talking about scientific notation in Module 2, taking really big numbers and writing them in scientific notation, or taking things in scientific notation and putting them back into standard form. Okay, so this first few problems here is taking that really big number, 25,500,000, and writing it in scientific notation. So remember, what I like to do first is go put that decimal in where it would belong so that we have a number that is bigger than 1 and less than 10. So when I put that decimal between the 2 and 5, it becomes 2.55, which is bigger than 1 and less than 10. And the second step of the directions is to write times 10. So this is getting it in the scientific notation. Now we have to find that exponent or that power. How many places did we move that decimal? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be a positive 7 because that is a very large number. All right, and number 2, let's go put that decimal where it goes. So it would be right here, 7.34. So that number is bigger than 1 and less than 10. Step 2, we have to write it as times 10. Now we have to find that power. So here are my decimal. So I moved it 1, 2, 3 places. And so sometimes kids just accidentally write a 3. Now that 3 means that we have a really big number. But if you look here, that original was 0.00734, a super tiny number. So make sure that you have a negative exponent in there. 7.34 times 10 to the negative third. All right, now we're going to write this in standard notation. So it's in scientific. Now they want to get rid of that times 10 and they want us to just write that out with commas in here. So this is a positive 4, which means we're going to have a very large number. So I'm going to move that decimal. So it's right here. I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4. And I fill in those. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I fill those in with the zeros. So move the decimal over. So we have 52,300. When we look at number 4, that exponent is a negative 5. So a negative 5 means we are going to be moving this decimal to the left, and we're going to have a very small number. So I have to move it 1 place beyond the 1, and then 4 more places. So it's going to be a decimal point with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then 1, 3, 3. So this would be moving at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have to fill those in with zeros. Okay? All right, looking here at number 5, it looks like we have some order of operation things that they want us to be doing here. So solving this order of operation, and so we're going to go 9 minus 7 is 2, so I have 2 to the third power, times 5 to the 0, and inside these parentheses, 8 plus 3 is 11 to the second power. So 2 to the third, remember that's 2 times 2 times 2, so that's 8. 5 to the 0, anything to the 0 is 1. And 11 squared is 121. So I have 8 plus 121. So it looks like I have 129. All right, in number 6, this order of operations, I'm going to do 4 plus 2 is 6. So I have 6 squared on top. 9 minus 3 is 6. So I have 6 as my base. And then we have 2 and 3 as exponents, so 3 times 2 is 6. Now, when this is written, remember we're going to subtract our exponents, or where do I have more 6's? Well, I have 2 6's on top, and I have 6 on the bottom. And if I cancel, don't I have 4 6's on the bottom. And so I'm just going to grab my calculator right now, and I am going to do 6 caret 4. And that is 1,296. All right, moving on to number 7 here. So you can do these using your calculator. So remember, there's a couple different ways that I've showed you how to use your calculator. Or if you want, because this is adding, we want to get all of these to be exactly the same. So if I want this to be 10 to the 5th, so I want that to be bigger, this has to get smaller, so it becomes 0.125. Now again, you're probably going to have to grab your calculator regardless, so you're going to want a calculator with you. Now I'm going to keep it times 10 to the 5th because they all say times 10 to the 5th, times 10 to the 5th, times 10 to the 5th. And now what I'm going to do on my calculator is I'm going to take 3.2 plus 0.125 plus 2.9. So we're going to add all of those three numbers together, and I think we end up with 6.225. Now you could just grab a calculator and plug everything in on the calculator. So let me get my calculator and I will show you how to do that. So let's see here. I think I'm going to go into Schoology, and then in Schoology, inside your course, we have a calculator. So I'm going to pick the online calculator. Okay, I'm going to hit start, and then here is that online calculator here. So I'm just going to clear this out. So that problem was 3.2, and remember I want this EE, so I hit second E, that's times 10, to the 5th power, and I'm going to add to it 1.25, second EE, that E stands for times 10, to the 4th power, plus 2.9, and second EE, and this one is to the 5th power, and now I can just add all of that together. And so here's my answer, but if I want to put this in scientific notation, I can just change this mode quick. So I'm going to go second mode. Whoops, not second. I just want mode. And then see where it says normal, I'm going to arrow over to scientific notation and hit enter. And now I'm going to hit second quit. So I go back here, and when I hit enter, do you see how it just changed that into scientific notation? So that says 6.225. Remember that E is times 10 to the 5th power. Okay, so that's one way to do it. All right, so here we have another one, and we can do this one again on your scientific notation, just on your calculator. So they want this final answer in scientific notation. So let's go back to that calculator, and that first thing that they were putting in is 2600. And then you can put your parentheses in there, and then you want the other parentheses because we're multiplying, 3.24, and remember times 10, so we're going to go second EE, that stands for your times 10, and this is to the 4th power. And now we have that multiplication, and just hit enter, and it's going to do that for you. So 8.424 times 10 to the 7th. Okay, so now when I go back here and write this, it's going to be 8.424. And remember, on the calculator, it said E and then a 7. So remember, that's 8.424. And this E right here means times 10. And then we have to write it as the exponent to the 7th. So remember, you guys can just completely use your calculator on this and not have to worry about getting exponents or anything the same. You can use your calculator. All right, good luck.